Angela White, how did this happen?
I met you at the premiere of The Roast, and it all went crazy from there.
Why do I feel like as soon as we met, we were friends?
I don't know, but something about the way you touched me, which sounds...
I need to watch it, apparently.
Yeah, you grabbed me, and I was like, wow. Like, in my head, I was like, wow, she's really touching me. But I mean... No,
So Angela White is coming forward with an allegation.
No.
I'd rather not be here for this. I feel like this is supposed to be between you and your lawyer.
No, you grabbed me in a way. I was impressed because a lot of people don't really touch each other in LA. Like, it's very, like, there's no meaning behind the touch.
If you're an actress, the producer will touch you as much as you want at the Christmas party, and as much as you don't want, frankly. But we hadn't met. I knew you were coming. I knew of you a little bit. It's not that I don't know you really well, because I know how famous you are. I had, Alex from OnlyFans had sent me, a list of who was coming, and I was like, oh God. And I didn't totally know, but I could feel that you were someone. Does that make sense?
Wow.
Like, I could feel you have star energy.
Thank you.
And your eyes are wild, and we connected, and it was a very chaotic situation, and I went up to hug you or something.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that you came.
Oh,
anyway.
I was so happy to be there. I had so much fun. It was great.
I am so at ease around sex workers because it's comedians. It's same.
Yeah.
We're giving our, it's like, I don't want to use the
very
word.
vulnerable.
Yeah. You're giving your body to people for their, enjoy it. We give our emotions and insecurities and etc. So it always just feels very safe to me.
Yeah.
Because we were on a podcast together recently, and you were like, you hugged me really hard at that party. And I was like, is she going to sue me?
No, I am not going to sue you. I would like you to do it again.
You're going to sue me if I don't do it again?
Yeah, if you don't keep hugging me like that, it's over. We were on the red carpet, or the blue carpet, because it was for OnlyFans.
Blue balls carpet.
Yeah, and you grabbed me and you looked into my eyes, and I was like, wow, she's real. Yeah.
And we hugged.
Yeah.
And enveloped.
Yeah.
And you have such a warmth to you, and I don't know why that's surprising. I think in some way I'm very intimidated by you, and what you do, because I admire it so much, and I'm scared of it. I think people tend to think stand-up comedy is the scariest thing, the hardest thing, the most embarrassing thing, or the most the thing that requires the most amount of courage. But I look at sex work and I go that's where I get.
Well, I think
scared.
we both do the things that people find the scariest. It's public speaking and being naked in front of people.
Yep.
So that's, yeah.
Has this been what, and I'm going to just start from the beginning.
Okay.
At what point in your life did you become sexual? Did it become comfortable? When was this is my life. This is my dream. This is my future.
14. 14 is kind of that was when everything started happening. That's when I developed my breasts. That's when I was super sexual. That's
Were your
when
breasts this big off the jump?
It pretty much, not quite this big. At 14, I was a double D. So, and then they just slowly grew after that. But it felt like overnight. I was 13 flat-chested, 14 double D tits.
I had a girl in my school she was very, very short, shorter than you, and she had such big boobs. It was like a problem. Mm-hmm. She had back problems.
Yeah.
Kate Upton's a good friend of mine. She had trouble breastfeeding. She's big boobs are kind of a traumatic. Chelsea Lynn, who's on OnlyFans, Trailer Trash Tammy, when she said she couldn't play sports because they would they'd hit her in the face. I'm like, this just feels like a fucked up karmic punishment. And so what was your experience when they started coming in? Because I think very few people are like, oh, you have big boobs, I feel so bad for you. But it must be kind of confusing.
It is. I mean, they're a blessing and a curse. I mean, for me, they're mainly a blessing. But I did get back pain.
Before
you
were like, these are going to make me an iconic millionaire.
So before that, I mean, at 13, all my other friends had developed. So I was flat chested. So I would cry myself to sleep because I didn't have tits. And my mom would always say, don't worry, you're going to get tits and you're going to catch up and you're going to overtake everyone, which I didn't believe her at the time.
She had big boobs?
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone in my family, both my grandmothers have big tits. So it's like both sides of the family, big titties. All my cousins, my sisters, everyone has big tits. But at 13, not having, like I had nothing. And my friends had tits, even if they were B or C cups. I'm like, I'm a horny woman that wants to express and explore myself and I have no tits. And I felt like tits were the ticket.
What do you mean you were at 13? Were you masturbating at that time?
Yes.
That I was trying to think when you came on. I was like, when did I masturbate first? Like, do people remember? Like, I just wrapped my head around my losing my virginity story, like remembering, but I don't remember when I figured that out.
See, I was doing like sexual self-pleasuring things before I knew what masturbation was. Because I think about what I did with my friends when we were kids and like humping like the dolls and things like that, which is basically masturbation. But
so just so you're Australia,
yeah,
everyone, this is where they sent the criminals. They sent the criminals to an island to go hump dolls.
I don't think that's why, but that is what ended up happening.
You just said it so casually.
Yeah.
You hump dolls with your friends?
Yeah, with my friends. Yeah, we did it together. Like we would do these little ceremonies where we would get married to the soft toys and then we would hump them because we'd have to consummate the marriage. So we would be in bed together side by side humping the dolls. Yeah, and we would, make our Barbies have sex and stuff. I mean, that wasn't masturbation, but we were, exploring sex and sexual ideas.
Do you remember seeing images in movies or magazines that, like, led to it, or?
No, nothing led to it. I do remember seeing, like, naked people in movies was so exciting. I remember, like, the full frontal nudity in Life of Brian. Like, that was just so exciting for me.
Mine was household. Like, I had family members that cheated and stuff, and I would go to the mistress's home and so, like, see stuff. And,
oh, wow.
Yeah, I remember, like, the household was sexual. There were women in the house naked, coming in, coming out, and I can't really delineate whether it was like, ooh, this is sexual, I'm into sex, or it's like, ooh, this is what gets my dad's attention, so I should do that. Look like that or act, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of like at a very early age. Oops.
At an early age, I was just so fascinated with naked bodies and sex, even if it wasn't like a sexual thing.
Bodies are just so ridiculous.
And it's weird that we're not allowed to see them. Why can't I see it?
Let a kid love a moon bounce but not jump on titties? Same. Do you know what I mean?
Soft, bouncy things.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by Carryuma, the cool, sustainable sneaker company made for life on and off the board. Warmer days are ahead, and we all need that staple shoe to carry us through summer and beyond when it comes to days spent in the sunshine and on your feet. Carryuma's got you covered with effortless style, unmatched comfort, and premium quality, worn by celebrities like Ashton Kutcher and me. That's not in the prompter. Why didn't they include me in that, I wonder? I feel like when Ashton Kutcher does his reads, they're like celebrities like Whitney Cummings, praised by publications like Vogue and GQ. These are a cult fave. Oka is Carryuma's new school take on a timeless sneaker style. It's designed for everyday wear and with breathable breathing. What's that like? It's in shades like green, off-white, and rose. It's the perfect pair to prep for summer. They are sure to have the perfect color for you. We've loved the lace-up Oka. Now Carryuma recently launched canvas slip-ons made with organic cotton and natural rubber outsole. This easy-to-wear style provides a timeless look with incredible comfort and ease. It's everything you love about Oka. Now, without the laces, Carryuma is always keeping it fresh with epic collaborations with brands like Deuce, Avatar, and Pantone. There's something to love for everyone, and sure to be shoes you will never get bored of. Carryuma is a B Corp certified and has a dedicated reforestation program based in the Brazilian rainforest. They're good people too. What? Their co-founders, David and Fernando, both grew up there, so this project is especially close to home. For every pair of sneakers sold, Carryuma plants 2 trees, and they've already planted over 2 million trees to date. That is so freaking cool and hot. Cariuma ships all their sneakers free and fast in the USA and offers worldwide shipping and 60-day free returns. They deliver right to your front door using single box recycled packaging. And for a limited time, Good For You listeners can get an exclusive 15% off your pair of Cariuma sneakers. Go to Cariuma, CARIUMA.com/Whitney to get 15% off. That's Cariuma, CARIUMA.com/Whitney for 15% off only for a limited time.
I was that weird kid at school in the back of the library reading all the sex books. Like there was a book called Where Did We Come From, which had all the cartoon illustrations of naked people and reproduction and reproductive organs. And that was fascinating to me. And I was, I knew I wasn't supposed to like look at it every single day. So I'd always go to the back of the library to like stare at these cartoon images. So I've always been fascinated by sex and sexuality and naked bodies.
But was there a religion in your house at all? Because I think maybe the in America, I'll speak for, there's just such a religious shame, like a fabric of shame that underpins everything that I feel like.
So I was brought up Christian, but it wasn't like a super strict religious household. My mum was really open with me about sex and masturbation.
What does she do?
She's a photographer.
Cool.
Yeah. So it makes sense that I ended up on the other side of the screen. But yeah, she was really open with me. Like she gave me a copy of the Height Report. Do you know this book? Sheer Height wrote this book in the 70s, and it basically surveyed women on their sexual experiences and on masturbation and how they masturbated. Because she wanted me to. She actually asked me like, "Do you know how to masturbate? Are you coming?"
At what age?
I can't remember what age. I want to say it was around 14. It was around that age. And so she gave me this book. And in the book, women detail the ways.
Height Report, HITE, by Sherry Height.
Yeah.
Wow.
So in that book.
Add to cart.
Yeah. It's a classic text. And women detail the ways that they actually masturbate. And so it was, from reading that book that I got a mirror and looked down at my vulva and figured out like where's the clitoris and learned how to masturbate.
That first time you put the mirror up, it's a real.
It was good to have studied so many illustrations on what it was, because
prepared.
I knew kind of what it was supposed to look like, so it wasn't so scary.
Traumatic.
Yeah. So I was masturbating.
Why does this look like my laundry basket? Was she very involved when you were like going through puberty and having your period and stuff?
Yeah. So when so she knew when I had a boyfriend, she knew that this was probably going to be the one that I lost my virginity to. So even before like that happened, she was like, if you want to have sex, like let's talk. I'll give you some condoms, all that kind of stuff. And then when I lost my virginity, she gave me like a present, like a losing your virginity present. Yeah, she bought me some lingerie.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, my mom was great.
Turned down for what, Mama White?
She was great.
Damn. And was she married?
Yes.
Or your father was there?
Yeah.
What's his deal?
I mean, what do you mean? What's his deal?
It's like he's just like, what's up with him?
What's up, Dad?
I guess I'm just like, I don't know. I don't even know how to talk about dads.
I mean, I didn't have the same. I didn't have the same relationship with my dad. Like me and my dad weren't open about sex. It wasn't like he was close.
No, he wasn't like you're about to get slammed by that. Yeah,
I was mommy's girl.
Totally. I think there's this sort of I don't want to say stereotype, myth, whatever, that like if you like sex a lot, your dad must have failed or something.
Oh.
And I think I always try to challenge that.
Yeah.
And that it's,
I think most people like sex.
Yeah.
Yeah. Regardless of what's up with dad.
Yeah.
And
so you're in Australia and then you lose your virginity. At what point are you like, when you lost your, like, did you enjoy it? When do you start enjoying sex? Because I think for most people, sex is not the experience.
Yeah.
So I'm just so curious if, I maybe had the way that you had a positive relationship with comedy. I'm sorry. The way that you had a positive relationship with sex, I developed a positive relationship with comedy early on with my mom. It's like when traumatic things would happen or bad things would happen, like jokes would cut the tension and everyone would laugh. And I was like, okay, this is the thing. This is what's, so it's like, obviously that's where the Pavlovian sort of like desire to keep doing that, came from. But I'm curious, like, because most people, I think losing your virginity is kind of like usually not a great. That's not great.
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah, it wasn't like I was having like multiple
Yeah, okay.
orgasms and you know, it was the best sex of my life. It was the peak.
Yeah,
you know?
like
Yeah.
and then it kind of taints it, and then and because maybe America is a little bit different because it's a lot of like furtive, religious shame. You're dry humping in closets and getting your braces stuck on someone's cock ring. It's just like you don't really have good sex till you're like 30 in America.
So there was sort of a relief after I lost my virginity because there was so much like the virginity thing, like there's so much tied to that. Like it's so important, and leading up to losing my virginity, I'd done basically everything else. Like I was just sucking dick all the time because I was like, I loved sucking dick. It was so much fun for me because I was like, this is a way for me to be sexual, but I can still protect my precious virginity.
Yeah.
I can suck anyone's dick. That doesn't have to be special, but popping the cherry, that has to be with someone I love, and it has to be beautiful and wonderful and something that I'll remember forever. So once I lost it, I felt relief because I'm like, oh, now I can fuck anyone I want because like I made the first time special. So now it doesn't matter. I enjoy sex for a myriad of ways. It's not just like the pleasure I feel in being touched in my body and the orgasm and things like that. Like I enjoy connecting. I enjoy being naked with someone. I enjoy expressing and exploring. I just loved exploring things, even if I didn't like it, because I had, especially at that age, there were so many things that I hadn't tried. So I'm like, yeah, what's it like to stick a finger in my butt? What's it like to, whatever it is, like there were so many things I hadn't done. So it was a really exciting time in my life. And now I still, like, when I'm having sex with someone, there's so many different ways that I can connect with someone, and it's always a new experience. So
I'm always just curious, like, because you're so, like, you're such a ray of light. You're such an orb of like positivity. And I just feel like when something's going well for someone discovers something. And I think for a lot of people, the sex, like you didn't have it tainted and shamed. It doesn't seem like before you did it. And then after you did it, it doesn't seem like there was a lot of slut shamey, whatever. So
there was.
Okay.
Yeah, there was.
Because I'm like, how have you not gone dark? I'm just trying to find the part in this trajectory because like, I think most women would probably be like you, point of view wise with sex. And I wish they could be, but I think so many women either got embarrassed or ashamed, whether it's hate their bodies or got slut shamed or had bad sex or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah. I got slut shamed like crazy in high school. That's what ended up leading me into porn. So basically, I turned 14, I get rid of my virginity, and I'm like, oh, it's on. Now I can fuck everyone.
go.
So I was fucking guys, I was fucking girls. I was slut shamed for every way that I expressed myself.
Fucking girls, was that like, I just want to learn about it, or like I'm attracted to that?
Both. Both. I wanted to try everything. I was attracted to women. But at that time, that wasn't cool. It wasn't cool to kiss girls. So that was probably the thing that I was shamed for the most, was having a girlfriend in high school.
What?
Yeah. That was like not, and I guess at the school I was at, it was just like there was so much
So you were dating a girl in high school, like full on?
Dating full on. And I actually was made to apologize at school assembly for kissing my girl in the quadrangle. Like heterosexual couples could kiss all they wanted, but because I kissed my girlfriend in the quadrangle, that was considered making a scene, and we were made to apologize to the school. Like I went through a lot of trauma in high school from my sexuality.
You were like, I, Angela White, am sorry for giving all the teachers erections on the quad earlier.
Yes.
That was my bad.
Yeah, fucked up. I had to apologize. I went through some fucked up stuff in high school because of my sexuality. And the other thing, okay, so
by the way, high school, which is, by the way, the fact that I look back now and I'm like, the high school prom, homecoming, Sadie Hawkins, why are these? You guys are just like encouraging the students to stress out, obsess over who they're going to invite, and eventually fuck at the end of May. Like that is so spooky to me. The fact that they have any judgments when it's just kind of like a weird like breeding program.
Not as big of a deal in Australia, the whole prom thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In America, it really breaks people.
Yeah.
Because you and I are best friends and we're in high school, and then the quarterback asks you to prom, and then all of a sudden we're not friends anymore. And then it's like, and then you go to the prom and all the teachers are there watching us dance and kind of dry hump and like sort of graze boners to Hosier, take me to church, whatever is happening. and then they're gonna have sex that night. It's just like, why are the teachers here?
Oh, so
are you guys
prom
just
is
here?
like when you have sex.
Why
Is
are you
that
here for the foreplay? Like, what is this? Like, it's just, yeah.
Okay.
It's just like, I just find it very toxic, and it's taken this long for me to look back and go, like, that's bizarre. Like, just that we encourage. Anyway, so that's not a big thing in Australia, but because you had a girlfriend.
By the time prom came around, I had a boyfriend. But if I hadn't have had a boyfriend, I probably wouldn't have even gone.
What happened with the girl?
Just, I can't even remember why we broke up, but just didn't work out. It wasn't like, we were dating, but it wasn't like serious. Nothing is really serious in high school.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, to do that in high school is a big swing.
To me,
It's a
it was
big
just
swing.
like, what's the big deal?
Because like, I am dating a girl now, and someone else or whatever. So it's like, oh, good. She's Whitney. She's wacky. She has blue hair. She dates girl. It's like, it kind of works. But like, that's a big swing at like 14, 15. To be fully dating a girl at school, because people are going, you're a lesbian.
Well, yeah, that's exactly.
You're a card-carrying lesbian.
And so the slang at least at my school for lesbian was lemon. So we had lemons thrown at us. Like, it was like actual physical bullying. I got punched in the face. Yeah. Like, it was like really hardcore what I went through in high school.
Imagine being a guy in high school thinking he has a shot with you, and then finding out he doesn't.
Well, I was still fucking guys. We fucked guys together too. Like, it wasn't like they didn't have a chance.
You need to have a shirt that's like, don't worry, you're welcome here. You were punched in the face?
Yeah. Only once, thankfully. Yeah.
That hurts my heart.
I mean, it was kind of like
By a boy or girl?
a girl. So I'll tell you this. I was always teased for being a lesbian, and this one girl just kept on like harassing me about it. And she just came up to me. She never like had fully explained why she was bullying me, but she came up to me. She's like, so what are you? Are you a fucking lesbian? And I said, why are you interested? And I got smacked. Yeah. And turns out she was a lesbian, actually. A couple of years later,
It's
she
like,
was
bitch,
dating
there's
a
other ways to touch me.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't have to punch me to touch my face.
But I was
Why
like,
don't
fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, honey.
But,
But do you
yeah.
feel like, looking back now at that, not to just to make excuses, but do you feel like that was internalized homophobia because she was jealous?
Yeah, it definitely, I mean, she obviously felt uncomfortable about the fact that I was expressing myself in a way that she wanted to, or didn't know she wanted to, she just felt uncomfortable about that.
Do you think every time she comes, she thinks about hitting you in the face in high school?
I hope she feels bad about that.
I feel like whoever she's married to definitely thinks about that every night, every time they fuck.
The thing that surprised me the most about being punched in the face is how little it hurt. Like, the adrenaline.
It's like stunning.
Like you
It's
have
stunning.
so much adrenaline comes to like you don't even feel the pain.
Yep.
I just was shaking with so much adrenaline.
Yeah, when you really get injured, it's the same. I had when my ear was bitten off by a dog, I felt nothing. Like, my ear was like hanging down, felt
damn.
nothing. Looked in the mirror, and as soon as I was like cared for, as soon as I got to the hospital, they started like doing stuff. Then I was like, ah! It's like your brain knows, you know, like something, they sense dopamine to the area, or oxytocin, whatever it is. I think it's phenylethylamine, actually, to keep you feeling good so that you'll save yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the girl that got her arm bitten off by a shark, Bethany Hamilton. She said that she heard the sound, but it felt like almost orgasmic when the shark bit her arm off. Like, it sends so much feel-good chemicals to the area so that you'll fight for your life and not give up.
Wow, I wonder if she thinks about that when she orgasms.
I mean, she probably uses her nub to, I mean, how does she even masturbate? What a bummer.
She has another hand, or what happened?
Well, yeah, I don't know if she's left or right. Yeah, I mean, she has a nub now.
Okay. Imagine if that is the best orgasm you've ever had in your life and it never peaks.
That's a big one. The idea of like, oh, sex with you
It will never be as good as this shark bite.
Sex with you is great, babe, but getting my arm bitten off, that's my kink. Have you encountered any extreme kinks, and do you have any intel for me on the kink front of where they come from? I'm pretty fascinated. With no judgments.
No.
Not
I
judging
actually,
anyone.
I mean, I get a lot of interesting requests on OnlyFans. I wouldn't say they're extreme. They're just like very creative. There's like the vor kinks where
So
you
their
like,
kink is making you go, huh? I gotta go to Michael's.
there's a lot of like, yeah, like I have to, they wanted me to cover myself in cake or something, or
Oh, cake sitting, that's big.
Yeah, or the eating ones where you eat them.
Eat
Or
the
the
cake.
shrinking. No, like you eat. So I have a lot of guys who like shrinking fetishes. So I used to do them a lot on webcam. So I would like make a special lemonade that would actually have a secret potion in there. They wouldn't know that, and then they'd drink it and they'd be like, oh my God, what's happening? And start to shrink. And so I'd take the webcam and slowly put the webcam down on the floor as I laugh maniacally. And then I would play with them. But it wouldn't always be sexual. Like sometimes they just want you to put them in your pocket or put them in between your cleavage and just carry them around.
That first of all, that is darling.
It's cute, right?
That is precious.
So kinks.
Kinks.
I want to send you this one that I did recently, actually, because I think it's still on my phone. Hang on, let me find this for you. Wait, am I revealing my?
I would like to. I'm gonna call Shark Tank. What service would allow me? How much money would it cost to just go on your phone for a minute?
Oh,
just
God.
through your photos, through your
God.
videos.
I don't think you could pay me enough.
DMs.
I'm gonna airdrop this to you.
Ah!
Hopefully it's the right one.
Airdrop
It is
from
my-
Angela White.
It is my boobs.
Please.
Hope you're consenting to see my boobs. By opening this message. Yeah, okay. So that's a recent one that I did, a little custom for the vor.
I am famished. My belly has been rumbling for hours, so as you can imagine, I am so hungry. And you look like such an incredibly delicious little snack. I hope you don't mind if I get straight to it. I think you're gonna digest pretty quickly because I've been hungry for a while. In fact, I'm salivating just looking at you. I might just swallow you whole. So, here we go.
This is literally so many men's
Oh
fantasy.
my gosh, Jay, you are delicious.
To be eaten. To be eaten.
Dude,
As like little, be shrunk and then eaten.
I'm gonna call Army Hammer and figure out how to eat people, man. That's where the money is. What do you think that is? They want to be inside you in a different way.
I never ask why. Because
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to ever get in their head about their
Sure,
fantasy.
that's really smart. I don't know why. I just am fascinated.
I'm
by
fascinated too, but I just never. I'm like, you know what? If they wanted to tell me, they'd tell me. Maybe they don't even know why. Maybe they don't even want to know why.
Right.
So I'm like, all
And
right.
it doesn't matter. But I think because it's not about, for me, whenever there's something going on with me that's a compulsion or an obsession, I'm like, oh, let me figure out what this is so I can change it or fix it or heal it but with kinks, like my kinks are always pretty helpful information. You know what I mean? Like mine are like, so embarrassing. I'll do it. Let's go. Like things you fantasize about when you're masturbating or having sex, whatever. Very big into like now workers at my house, not the ones I currently have, but workers that are just killing it at my house, politely asking to come in the house. Should I take my shoes off? And I'm like, no. And then they just fuck me and go back to doing great work.
That's hot.
Agree.
Yeah.
But like in my brain, I'm like, oh, I really just want competent workers. I'm
Yeah.
turned on because I've had incompetent criminals doing work on my house. Like it's good information.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I need to make a change with my construction crew.
Yeah. I understand. Yeah, it makes sense. I think a lot of my fantasies now revolve around me doing less. So because in porn, I'm so active. I'm basically doing cardio. I'm on top.
Yeah.
I'm riding. I'm, getting fucked upside down. I do so much. So I just want to get tied up now. I just want to get tied up.
Yep. How do I become a bottom?
Yeah. How do I be fucked? Like, how does someone fuck me and I do less
It's like
of the
a
fucking?
comedian doing crowd work. We're like, can you do this for me? It's like, where are you from? Like, that's same. I've done a lot of work up here tonight. I'm just turned 40 now. I'm like, what do you do, sir? But so when it comes to getting into, when did you decide, okay, this is something I want to do for a living?
Okay, so that's going back to all the bullying and the slut shaming that I experienced in high school. So pornography was the first place I saw women being celebrated for fucking a bunch of people.
I mean, it's Hedy Lamarr is someone I'm obsessed with. She was what was the year? Let me find. Hedy Lamarr, who has now been linked to being fundamentally, I don't want to say she invented Wi-Fi, but fundamentally involved in the invention of Wi-Fi. She was an actress who was Austrian, and she did a movie called Ecstasy in 1933, and it showed her having an orgasm on camera. And she was so publicly shamed and disgraced that she moved to America, became very famous in America, I don't think anyone wanted to even know. I don't think the people running Hollywood wanted anyone to know that was even on the menu. Orgasms just don't. That's not even that's a myth.
That's really fucked up. So could men orgasm?
Always, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really
Wild.
misogynistic.
Yeah, wild.
Yeah.
Wild. So I never saw sex being pleasurable to women. It was always just like marriage, which every Disney movie, every rom-com, it was all about saving yourself for marriage. It was never like enjoying sex.
Well, that's why porn was so incredible for me. It was like this progressive space where I was like, oh, wow, women are allowed to have fun, be naked, fuck men, fuck women, and they're celebrated for that rather than criticized for it. So I was like, at 14, I was like, that is what I want to do.
And what was it? Do you remember the first porn you saw?
So I saw a couple different things. I don't remember the name of the movie, but I saw some really weird movie with my soon-to-be boyfriend and his friend, where these male performers were wearing they were naked and they were wearing lampshades over their heads.
I'm in.
Yeah, and they ended up getting their dick sucked and fucking. It was very odd. I don't know what movie that was. And then the thing... Still never found it to this day. Still have a thing for lampshades. No. But the thing I remember the most was I had this Penthouse Letters, and there was this blonde woman laying there covered in lace and pearls, and she had this huge smile on her face, and she was looking directly down the lens, just like staring into your soul with this big smile on her face. And I was like, fuck yes, I'm going to be happy in porn. Like, this is where I can be myself. This is where I can express myself. This is where I can be me, and everyone's going to love me for it. I can express and explore sex in a safe place with like-minded peers. So, yeah, 14, I was like, I'm going to be in porn.
That is wild.
Then I spent the next 4 years researching it, figuring out what companies could be safe to work with, because obviously there were still a lot of myths surrounding the industry about it, just like being a place where, all the women are pimped out and drug abused and what. So I did my research. Like, I was really serious about figuring out how I could get into this industry.
You approached it as a business.
I did approach it as a business.
Did you research any porn stars that came before you?
That's actually one of the reasons I ended up working. So the first company that I worked with was the Score Group. And they were flying in models. So they're based in Miami, Florida, but they were flying in models from around the world. And I was like reading, at the time it was magazines. They had DVDs and stuff too, but it was like magazines were the easiest things for me to get my hands on. And they kept coming back, these models. I was like, they'd fly them into Florida, they'd fly them into the Bahamas, or they'd fly them into Europe. And I was like, oh, here they are in Prague. And then like a year later, they're in the UK. I'm like, well, these models wouldn't keep flying and shooting with this company if they were treating them poorly. That was I mean, that was all the research that I had. But I was like, I went into it with the as much. Now there's so much.
And were you right?
I was right.
Okay.
Yeah, I was right. I was right.
Trust me, I'm like, that could have gone either way, because I'm like,
Yeah.
You moved to LA and you're like, well, this Harvey Weinstein guy, all these people wouldn't work with him if he was really raping people. Seems like they just keep winning Oscars.
Well,
so.
this was with the knowledge that I could garner as a 14-year-old. Now, that you can listen to a bunch of podcasts where porn stars talk about their experience. At the time, that was the best information that I could garner at the time. And thankfully, I was right.
Did you tell your mom about your plan?
Yeah.
What'd she say?
Well, she was worried. Yeah. I was
not as worried as my mom when I told her I was going to do comedy.
Oh.
I know. Dude, can I tell you? You know, it is just because look, like stand-up comedy, sex work, we go hand in hand in so many ways. Sorry if that was a weird double entendre, but like comedy in America. I mean, comedy started in America essentially. Stand-up comedy. There was the court jester, but the court jester's job in Europe was to, joke around with the king and make jokes about the king to make sure that power hadn't corrupted him, or created some kind of like egomaniacal brain disease. So joke with the king, and if the king didn't laugh, people had to go like, "Oh, we're worried," Or the jester's job is to deliver bad news in a silly way and keep things light in the courts. But stand-up comedy was very much like hip hop invented in America came up in strip clubs, and we started this together. Vaudeville, Mae West, Mom's Mabley, etc. And it's just so funny because it's like there's this strip club in LA called Crazy Girls. We went to it after the Burt roast.
I didn't get to go. I had to work the next day. So I was like, I got it.
I figured, I just love it because it's more like bikini bar. Like it's not even topless, I don't think. They have pasties and stuff, but when I go quite a lot, and when I go, they're always like, "How you doing?" Like they look down on us. They're like, we exploit our bodies for money. You guys exploit like your depression. Like they're like, "How are you?" Like, so it's like, So anyway, so it just feels like so kismet. It makes so much sense. This alliance with OnlyFans and comedy that has started to build. Manscaped, ladies, June is just around the corner, and my guess is that you haven't purchased a Father's Day gift. Am I right? Well, look no further than the sponsors of today's show, because our friends at Manscaped are, sorry, I was going to make a joke about my dead dad, and I didn't. So if you're like me and you don't have a dad to buy something for Father's Day, I mean, honestly, you know what? You actually could use this incredible razor to go, I could groom around his gravesite. Like the grass and stuff and the weeds. Anyway, you need to gift your dad so that he can upgrade his grooming game from face to waist. Their brand new Beard Hedger, exactly, Pro Kit is the total package dedicated to making sure all fathers go from dad to daddy this year. Have him join the 8 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code Whitney at manscaped.com. Mama's gonna like this one. Let's start with the ultimate Father's Day MVP, the Beard Hedger Pro Kit. Inside this package, look at all the stuff. You're going to find their signature Beard Hedger trimmer. That's this one. Boop. Beard shampoo and conditioner. Here we go. The Beard Balm. I have it all right here, which, by the way, you know that I started using obsessively the Manscaped shower gel because it's like addictively delicious. Also, the Beard Oil, which is right here, which I do sometimes put on my face and the ends of my hair. I think I'm trans, by the way. Maybe I'm trans. 2 free gifts with their signature. Oh my God, it smells so good. Beard comb and scissors. With 20 hair cutting lengths and a singular guard, he'll be able to craft his look like never before without a mess in the drawers. And if he doesn't have a beard, he needs to try their Performance Package 4.0. This beautiful bundle is absolutely daddy material. It includes the brand new Weed Whacker 2.0 ear and nose hair trimmer. That thing is a game changer. The Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant Crop Reviver Toner, because why do all balls look like they're 100 years old? Performance Boxer Briefs and a travel bag to hold all of his goodies. The Lawnmower 4.0 is a game changer for trimming in his sensitive areas. We all know dads love their comfort. If his grooming routine is already dialed, make sure to hook him up with Manscaped's Boxers 2.0. These are without a doubt the best boxers for men of all ages. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code Whitney at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use the code Whitney. It makes this Father's Day one he will not forget with Manscaped. I hope I forget it because my dad's dead. But yeah, I do think it's interesting because I think comedians, come from a lot of disapproval, but I feel like you have to come from, in order to do what you do, you have to come from a lot of approval and comfort, or
in terms of maybe within yourself,
at least to start when you started. It seems like you had a lot of support and structure and safety. I'm very privileged in that my family is very accepting of what I do, and it was a journey. It wasn't like they were just super excited for me from the beginning. But there are a lot of performers that don't have that do get ostracized from their family. Because there's a lot of jobs where it's like, well, accept it if you're the best. But in that beginning period where you're making you know, $50 a week, that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, was there a time when
Yeah.
it was like, just wait till I can pay your rent and then you'll be supportive?
Thankfully, they were supportive before the money came in, but it took, so in the beginning, when I got into the industry, I mean, I wanted to get in at 14. Obviously, I had to wait till I was 18. I had all those 4 years to like plan everything and get in. And when I turned 18, I was still in high school. So it was like a big deal that I was like, well, I stayed in school, but I left for 2 weeks to shoot porn and then came back. And I told my mum I just turned 18, and I could have told her in a way that was a lot softer, but I was like just so punk rock. I just was like, I didn't want to hear anyone's opinion about it. Like I had already done the research. I had already made up my mind. So I didn't want to leave an opening for her to say, oh, are you sure you want to do, like I was sure I wanted to do this. And so when I told her, I was so blunt, and now I look back and I'm like, I was so rude and mean.
You were
like
17, 18.
I was 18. I just said, I'm going to go and shoot porn and I don't care what you think, you know? And it's just like, I didn't need to say it like that, but I felt like at the time
had been shamed or something, or
yeah,
were
I was just
defensive.
like, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to do it. And she was worried for all the reasons that any mother would be worried. I was only 18. I'd never been overseas by myself before. I was going to be flown over the other side of the world to the States.
Is that if you're in Australia, is America like the place to go?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, like LA specifically is the headquarters of porn production.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it globally.
Hollywood,
yeah.
baby. Yeah. Burbank.
Yep. Porn Valley.
Fuck
So-
yeah. It's actually amazing because I know when when you're shooting in studios, or you can tell which ones were built as porn stages because they have the most bathrooms. So I was just shooting this show, Cooper's Bar. It was at Ray Seahorn. She's on Better Call Saul. She played my friend on my sitcom. She's brilliant. And we were shooting out in Canoga Park, California. And it was like super spread out. And there's bathrooms in truly every room, every hallway. And that's when you're like, oh, this is porn.
Yeah, we got to prepare.
They put in extra bathrooms.
Yeah. But that's part of the reason why LA is the perfect place for porn, because we can piggyback off the Hollywood industry as well. I mean, obviously you guys are piggybacking off some of our studios
only people
too,
actually watch
but-
your movies. You guys actually make money and get to keep it. Your CEOs don't have yachts while you live in an apartment on Gardner.
Well, things have changed now because of OnlyFans. I think, you know, it's gotten better for performers.
Yeah, I want to hear. I want to get really dig into that. My just question is like, are you studying a porn star? Are you looking up to someone the same way as a comedian? I looked up to actually a lot of non-comedians too. I kind of was like, I know I want to be an entertainer. I looked up to Dennis Rodman. I looked up to Adam Sandler. I looked up to, you know, but also, you know, Richard Pryor and George Carlin, whatever. Were there entertainers?
Danny Ash.
Danny Ash.
Danny Ash was like, she was the first big internet star. She was also a woman with big natural breasts. And for me, like, I was praying for big boobs. So when they finally came, I was like, finally, my ticket to sex.
Did you ever get male attention that felt like negative?
You know, the male attention, I loved getting male attention. And now I look back at some of the attention I got and I'm like, that was actually creepy. But at the time, I loved it. I loved getting older male attention.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But now I look back and I'm like, why were you
What
giving?
are you?
I was like,
just because I liked the lollipop doesn't mean you should have given it to me, you weirdo. Yeah.
No, there were many situations where at the time I thought this is cool. And now I look back and I'm like, you were 40.
Is that
And I was 14. And what were we doing? Like
Australia? Yeah, they descend from criminals. Is that true though? Really?
Yeah.
But I think that's some of the most incredible talent comes from Australia. I think because of that criminal DNA, punk rock DNA.
That's right. We are punk rock. Yeah.
So you're looking up to Danny.
I'm looking up to Danny, and not just because of the boobs. She built an empire. She is the first internet queen.
Great.
She created a business. She became a millionaire from just doing what she wanted to do, for expressing herself and showing her body, and like she was a boss. So that's who I looked up to. I was always like, I'm going to make my own money. I'm going to build my own empire. I'm going to produce and direct, and I'm going to make I'm gonna own my content.
Did you ever think about stripping or any
I
other
I did for a little while. I didn't like it.
Cardio.
There was a lot. Like
Yes.
I like to go to bed early. Like
yeah.
I'm not good at hustling in that. I'm not good at hustling people.
Yeah.
Like I'm a very hard worker, but that interaction where you've got to try and get money from people, like it's much easier in porn. I'm just like,
yeah.
and the money comes. Like I do what I love and the money flows.
Right. It's attraction, not like
yeah,
grifting.
Yeah.
Kind of
I just wasn't great at it, to be honest. So yeah, I did that for maybe 6 months.
Stripping is such an art. Like, I mean, it is like I go to strip clubs to study. I mean, I learn as a performer. I learned so much. Just like you just have to. You are the shit. Like you just have to enter into that reality. And and when the girls don't, you can tell. Like watching strippers that are kind of just like not into it or kind of giving a lot, but you can tell in their eyes they're not into it. I'm like. Sometimes I do that on stage where I'm like giving it all, but the eyes, like you gotta be there. Yeah. You gotta. And if you're not like doing it for the love of the game too, it's always gonna be, I feel like a uphill.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't my thing. And I also did porn before I did stripping. So that was something I tried afterwards because I was like, oh, I'm so interested in sex and sex work. Why don't I try this? I'm sure I'll love it. And no, I
feel like I'd lose an Achilles heel in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So then you're getting into the industry. Like how in the beginning was there, like any business that is sort of your, sole proprietor, like was there, I went to like open mics and, you're dealing with people that are kind of like not at the top yet, that are sort of sketchy and shady. Like that's not just a porn thing that in the beginning people take advantage of you and things aren't professional and whatever. Did you have like some rough?
I was really lucky that I started with a really professional company. I really did vet like every company that I worked for. I did all the research that I could on them. I would like ask people. I would ask around like, are they cool to work with? Wow. So I was a diligent researcher.
Smart.
There was a period in the beginning where I just did girl. So I wasn't ready to do boy girl. So I took every step of my career I took at my own pace. Like it didn't matter what kind of pressure I was getting from other people. Like, oh, you could make more money doing this. The way I've made my decisions, I've got this like fuck yeah mentality. It's like my fuck yeah principle, right? So if I think about something and my answer isn't fuck yeah, then I don't do it. Like if there's any kind of niggling thought like and so
like if it's not a hell yes, it's a no.
Exactly.
Love it.
And so that's in the beginning when I would think about boy girl.
Where did you learn that? To trust your gut?
I don't know.
That's
I really
wild.
don't know. I just I guess like when there's a niggling thing that I'm like, even if I can't put my finger on why I'm not ready for something, that niggling thing is just so strong that I can't do it. Like I just can't.
God, that is like a Darwinian fucking advantage. Because for me, if I'm like, oh, someone's asking me to do this, like if I say no, what if they don't ask again? And what if I'm missing this opportunity? And then I'll force myself to do something against and be like, why? You're just being scared. You're just being, trepidatious because you're insecure. And I'll like throw myself into things. And I'm like, I knew I shouldn't have done that. Why didn't I just trust my gut? So it's taken me so long to get to that point. How amazing that you had it that young.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know where that came from.
And to even say it, like, I think for most people, it's like, even if I can't explain to you why or what's going on, the answer is just no.
Yeah.
I wish I had a perfectly eloquent explanation, but like my gut saying no is enough information for me. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I did, I performed for other companies for a number of years. And then I realized that even though that was a lot of fun, if I wanted to bring my own vision of sexuality to life and fuck how I wanted to fuck and wear what I wanted to wear, I was going to have to create my own production company.
So when you're doing it for someone else, do they give you the scenario? They give you the scene? They give you the everything and you kind of...
So you still have final say. You can obviously you can say yes or no to anything.
I didn't know that was obvious.
Oh, you can. You can say yes or no to anything, obviously. Oh, okay, not obviously. You can say... I'm telling you, you can say yes or no to anything. So, for example, I'll be told my screen partners ahead of time. If for some reason I don't want to shoot with them, I'll say let's try someone else. You also want to be a team player, so they might say we're going to put your hair in curls. I don't like my hair. Nowadays, you won't see my hair curls.
You're a little Bo Peep for this one.
Yeah, I'm like, no. There are certain things that I won't play. I won't do anything. Like I've rejected a lot of scripts when there's any kind of like slut shaming, or even if it's like slut shaming of a different form of sex work. Like I refuse to.
And what does that look like? Like within it, slut shaming within porn.
Like like looking down at someone who's like doing other forms of sex work. Maybe they're an escort or a stripper, or calling, like if there's a line in a script where I call a stripper a slut or something. I'm just that kind of thing. I'm just like, I won't do that. You know, certain scenarios, like, but when you shoot for yourself, you choose everything from.
Why is it that I don't like it when someone calls someone else a slut, but if you don't call me a slut while we're having sex, I will never have sex with you again?
That's a different. That's a different thing.
That?
It's contextual in the bedroom.
I'm a dirty little slut.
You
can't
say
that to anyone else.
Not on the street.
No.
In the bedroom, maybe.
In my home that I worked hard to pay for, it should be said.
Yes.
That is the only time it should be said.
But see, that's boundaries and consent. That's the difference. The stranger on the street saying that you're a dirty little slut, that is not cool.
It's just like little. Thank you. That's all I hear. So you're like, I need to, because we have a very similar trajectory business-wise. You know, I got into comedy and I'm doing other people's shows and I'm like, I'm never going to be able to do what I do within this. I can't fit in here.
Yeah.
I'm not pretty enough to be the pretty girl. I'm not weird enough to be the girl. Like there were all these like categories for actresses and, you know.
So you created your own category.
I had no choice.
Yeah.
It was sort of like.
Same. But see, I was also my body type. Like I was sort of like too curvy for mainstream, but not quite big enough for BBW. Yeah. So my body type, like now thick is in. Now we have a word for it.
Why do you
thick.
think that is? Do you think it's Kardashian?
I'm sure that had something to do with it. Yeah.
Hey, y'all. Did you know 35% of all fatal accidents occur between 6 p.m. and midnight? People aged 25 to 35 have the highest amount of drivers involved in car crashes. People aged 15 to 24 had the highest rate of emergency room visits due to car accidents of all age groups. If you're ever injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. Submitting an injury claim with Morgan & Morgan is so easy. It's more like using an app than hiring a lawyer because, let's be honest, that's a goddamn nightmare. Submitting a claim to Morgan & Morgan is as easy as pretending you didn't see that 5 p.m. email from your boss. With Morgan & Morgan, submitting a claim is as easy as hitting snooze on your alarm for the 8th time. Submitting a claim to Morgan & Morgan is as easy as kicking your friend with an Android off the chat once you see their bubble come up green. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury firm. They have over 100 offices nationwide and more than 800 lawyers. With over $15 billion recovered for clients, Morgan & Morgan has a proven track record of fighting to get you full and fair compensation. If you're ever injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. Their fee is free unless they win. For more information, go to forthepeople.com/Whitney or dial #law, #529 from your cell phone. That's thepeople.com/Whitney or #law, #529 from your cell phone. This is a paid advertisement, but all the money goes to my other legal fees.
So there was the body type thing, and I was like, hey, I don't quite necessarily
Does someone tell
fit.
you that, or you just go like in the metrics or the numbers? You're like, I'm not hitting
in Australia, we're kind of like 10 years behind when it comes to porn. Like, so wherever we are in the US, like Australia.
You show up to the porn set with fucking a giant bush of pubes. Everyone's like,
well,
who invited Bigfoot?
When like America was starting to accept like thicker girls, like I was modeling in Australia and they still wanted like they wanted stick thin bolt-ons.
But I don't feel like that's what men want.
Well, I think men want everything. I think there's a body type for every man.
I think Hollywood, maybe like Hollywood like didn't understand, like the executives that were running Hollywood, they want anorexic like 22-year-olds, but people don't. You know what I mean? Guys
the internet democratized everything.
If that's what you're into, you're gay. You know, sorry. But yeah, so it's like, you know, and this is something else I learned when I was doing all the research for The Robot, which is at the Robot Factory, the requests that come in for the custom dolls, the sex dolls, is part of the reason they're struggling so much is that the requests are usually to have girls that are bigger. They want bigger asses, big, thick thighs.
Yours is already so heavy. How are you going to make
mine is, mine, they're just so cumbersome.
They're more heavy than they're heavier than a human.
I think so. And like dead weight.
Yeah.
Humans will like help you
Yeah.
care even. It's like carrying a drunk girl out of the bar. I mean, it's just truly dead weight. So there's that. They request nipples that are as big as the boob, darker nipples, all the stuff that you would not think would be the socially constructed standard of beauty. So.
Oh, I think, yeah. I mean, being in porn, I think the internet democratized pornography. Like, we actually saw what people wanted, which was everything.
Yeah.
Everything under the sun. Porn gets blamed a lot. There's this myth, like, the anti-porn feminists always talk about, oh, you know, like, the rise of labiaplasty is because of porn. It's like, have you actually watched porn? Some of the top performers have really long, meaty lips. Like, it's not porn.
Focus on the labiaplasties in South Africa on the kids. How about those maybe? Focus on those.
But yeah, I can't remember what it was like creating my company so that then I could actually create the porn that I wanted, wear the things I wanted.
Did you have help? Like, did you?
So in the beginning, no, I did everything. I edited my own movies. I mean, obviously, so I was coming across here and I had my crews here in LA. So I would pick the videographer I wanted, I'd pick the photographer that I wanted, I'd pick the male and female talent I wanted, the makeup artist. Like, I could do everything from the minute detail, and then I would go back home and edit all the content and create the product that I really wanted to see, what I wanted to see in porn.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Did you watch porn at the time? Like, would you watch it to see what other people were doing?
I watched a lot of porn. Yeah, both for my own pleasure and as market research, you know. I was studying. Yeah.
I mean, I just love the idea that's like female comedians being competitive, like watching each other's stuff, being like, oh God, I was going to do that. Like, oh no.
Well, when it comes to sex, it's like there's only so many different positions you can do. It's really what you bring to those positions.
And when this is a very weird question, and I like today I was like, don't ask her that, but I think I should, which is it's very clear why you're as famous as you are and successful as you are, but why do you think you're such a star? Does that make sense? Or why do you think people are so drawn to you?
I think it's because I love what I do. I think it's because I'm passionate about it. I really do think that.
And that's clear and it comes through.
Yeah. Which, you know, not to shame anyone who does it for the money. We all have to
That's fine,
do a
but
job
it's just,
for the money. But
it's like stand up. I did it like I was like, I will do this for $100 a week for the rest of my life. Like I was like, if I make money at this, great. But
in the beginning, I was not making money. Like I was not. It really was just like a supplemental income. I was not. It wasn't my career in the beginning.
Did you work any other jobs while you were?
I mean, I was studying most of the time. So I mean, in the end, the money that I made from porn was a lot compared to what everyone else was doing, like working at the university cafe or whatever.
Right.
But you know, I didn't have a lot of money.
Oh.
It wasn't until OnlyFans that I really started to make big money. Like I just did it because I loved it.
So hold on. So you're doing films, you're doing your own stuff. OnlyFans comes along. Was that 5 years ago? I feel like during the pandemic is when
that's
really
when it
started
blew up.
cracking.
Yeah, but I want to say I think I had an account in 2018.
Oh, wow.
I think, but I posted a couple of things. It wasn't really big. I was so focused on producing and performing in studio porn that I wasn't focused on it at all. So I don't know that many people were making big money on OnlyFans until it blew up in 2020.
Were there
with
any
the
other
pandemic.
platforms before that you were grinding on?
Before it was like angelawhite.com. That was my own website. Now, now OnlyFans is so lucrative that URL just links straight to OnlyFans because running your own website comes with a whole bunch of costs like hosting and whatever. So now it's just like, well, just go to my OnlyFans. But yeah,
I think your website should be angelawhite.edu because I learn a lot. It's very educational. So OnlyFans comes along, and is this like, at first you're trepidatious, but what are explain what OnlyFans has done for the sex work community and why it's so crucial.
It's really empowered performers. It's for many performers, it's been this source of income that allows them to have more options and make more choices. You know, like I am lucky that I've been in a position for a long time to make decisions when it comes to set. Like I can choose who I work with, or I feel like I can choose. Anyone can.
Are there certain performers that you just like have really good chemistry with, even though if it's not like, but you can still say like good game after, and it's business is business.
Oh yeah, the chemistry ranges from like, oh my God, like I love this person, to like, oh, they're a good friend and I can fuck them and we can give mutual pleasure, but it's not like I want to have dinner with them or anything.
Right,
it's just
sure,
like,
sure.
You know,
Yeah.
like give me the dick and then. There's actually quite a few like that I'm just like, I really like them as people, but I just after
Don't ever want to hear you speak.
yeah. So there's that, and there's actually very few people that I don't have some kind of connection with, whether it's sort of like, you know, on the friendship spectrum. And if I just have absolutely zero chemistry with someone, then they'll end up on my no list, just because I don't want to go to like sex. I don't want sex to become a chore for me.
Yeah.
So if we have sex and I just can't find anything, like, and it's usually if they're just not present at all, like if they can't be in the scene with me, because you need to be in this space between us. If you're over there, I mean, everyone has a bad day. I don't, you know, if it's just a one-off, whatever, but if you're not really engaging in the sex and with me in some capacity, then I can't find a way to connect with you. And then I'm having disconnected sex, and then I feel horrible. And, you know, I don't want to be like robots fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's my brand. See, I will sue you if you start doing that. Okay, that is, you already did the two broke girls porn, so we're pushing it on the copyright infringement.
I'll send the robots to you.
But is there, wow, that's fascinating to me. With checking out that is such a bummer when you feel like someone's checked out during sex and you're just like a blow up doll and you're just like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you're just jerking off with my body.
Yeah, with my
kind of
pussy.
thing.
Yeah.
But do you ever worry that, because I'll watch porn sometimes and I'm like, oh, they're falling in love. Oh my God. Like, I'll watch like sometimes like when James Dean did that movie with, I think it was Lindsay Lohan.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day, I like got really into his like things. I got really into his like videos, and I'd watch him and I'd be like, he's in love with her. They're in love. And then I watch another one, I'd be like, oh, he's cheating on her with that. Like, is that part of his appeal too? He's so intense, and it's like, so, but how are you guys not falling in love? I don't get it. I'm too much of a love fucking.
Sometimes we
love
are.
is my kink. It's the worst kink to have.
It's a really dangerous kink.
But sometimes
That's the craziest thing I've done in a porno, is fall in love for sure. Like that's like
that's the thing. I'm like, they have she has 9 dicks in her butt, but they're falling in love. No, that is psycho.
It makes the sex so much better though. Like when you have that kind of strong crush connection, whatever it is that.
Because if you're gonna make a woman come, you have to want her to do. You have to like really pull a hammy.
There's a lot of guys in porn that want to make you come, but it's still they're not in love with you. They're just, maybe it's an ego thing. I don't know.
Can you come if you're not emotionally connected?
Yes, but it's better if it's easier and better if I'm emotionally connected.
I'm like, I can make people laugh with a joke I don't believe in.
Yeah,
but.
Yeah,
I'd feel weird. I'd be like, well, why'd you do that?
Yeah, I can come because like as long as the motion is how it needs to be, I can still come.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously
like using a sex toy or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you ever fantasize during scenes about something else, or does that make it seem like you're elsewhere?
No, I'm usually within the scene itself, because I think that's when you make the best scenes, like when you're truly connecting with your partner, like finding a way to really like look into their soul and like find a spot where we're both in it together.
Right. Have you ever like been in a scene that's not, and you're just like, we have to reset?
There was actually, okay, so this was probably my worst day on set, and it's not even that bad, but it was for my own production, so I handpicked this male talent, and I had done my market research. I'd watched a bunch of his scenes, and I was really excited to fuck him. So
I love you so much.
I was so excited. So we got like all.
Do you text? Did you talk before? Do you?
No.
It's just
sometimes
like...
it's better not to.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't know him personally,
Yeah.
and like sometimes you don't want to learn too much about them because you just want the sex to be good.
Yeah.
Anyway, we shot the sex stills, and we started shooting the sex scene, and like he wasn't fucking me like he had been fucking in his other scenes. And I was like, oh my God, he's trying to be this other guy. So like Okay, so there's like some top male performers that like like I don't want to like name names or like play any favorites, but there's some male performers in the industry that everyone loves. And he was literally using his moves and fucking me like him because he knew that I loved fucking this other guy. And I was like, whoa, like
wait, so he's doing the moves
he's doing
of
his
another
moves.
guy?
Yes, he's doing
That's a thing?
Yes, that's a fucking thing.
But you know what I go through? I go through fucking a guy that's not a porn star who's trying to copy those moves.
That's awful. I'm so sorry. It's like no, this was one of the only scenes I ever had to cut in, and like I cut because I was like so confused because I was so excited to fuck him.
When did you figure it out?
Like within 10 minutes.
So he was studying you and probably seeing what you liked.
Seeing who I liked fucking and was like, oh, I'm going to fuck her like he fucks her because that's what she likes. And I was watching his scenes and being like, I can't wait to fuck him. So it was like, my brain was like, what is happening? And it was actually, I actually had to take, I cut and like, I just claimed that I needed to use the restroom. And I actually had a little tear. I was like, because I was like, I felt like he wasn't there with me. Like he was pretending to be someone he wasn't, and so I'm like, we're not even having sex. You're being someone else. Who am I fucking? And so I had to give myself a little pep talk and get back out there and fuck that dude. But I was like, never.
What does an Angela White pep talk in the bathroom look like? Just curious. Is that on some like mom spaghetti shit? Like what exactly happens in that moment?
I was like, okay, this isn't how you had planned. He's not fucking you the way you want it, but he's still fucking you well. So like, just maybe embrace what's happening and maybe just pretend the other dude is fucking you or like,
Or can you say to him in that moment, like, hey, I feel like you're...
I would now.
Yeah.
This was like in the beginning when I was directing. And so I was still like, it's very delicate with male performers because you have to keep the erection, right? You need the wood.
So direction will kill an erection.
Yeah, you don't want to say anything that's going to get in his head and then...
Or you don't say anything, period. A woman talking, that erection will be gone.
Say some dirty things.
In a heart, you have to be like, excuse, I'm lost.
Yeah.
Can you help me find the bed? I'm confused.
Help me, fuck me.
Help me. Like that. Have you ever had a situation where an erection goes away and you have to pull out a photo of me?
All the time. Works every time.
What do you do in that scenario?
So yeah, sometimes erections leave. It's usually an environmental factor I've found. So if it's too hot, which often it is in Porn Valley, heat is just kryptonite for a boner. Like immediate boner goes down. That's an easy fix. That's a cut. Let's blast the air conditioners.
I feel like they're doing the blue chew.
Viagra, some of them are.
Using?
So there are natural guys that don't use anything, and then there are guys that use like whatever, Viagra, Cialis, Blue Chew, and then there are some guys that inject Cavajact, and then
Cavajact, promo code Whitney.
And then there are some, although not as much as like, there's been a bunch of podcasts lately that are like claiming that everyone in porn has a penis implant. Not true at all.
Can
like
you
very
just
few.
Let the men believe that.
Well, if that's what's going to make them feel better.
I think that rumor's not for you guys. It's for. Do you know how many less school shooters we've had because rumor was going around?
Oh,
guys need to believe that they're implants.
Right, got it.
It's like how women are able to go, well, she's got plastic surgery. Like that's how you just, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm sure people need to believe that.
Well, I shouldn't have said that there are some men that are natural because that's going to crush some people's ego. But Viagra, when was that invented? Like the 80s or something?
Yeah, I feel like that's been around for a minute. Yeah.
But there are, porn was being produced without Viagra for a while. So there's still some like old school guys that just really perverted that can get it up in front of a bunch of men and like fuck for hours with no assistance. So it's possible. Yeah. Those men do exist.
As long as you're there, I feel like it helps. I feel like the right women are in the room.
The right temperature.
If I walked in and was like, guys, can we quiet down? I feel like I could take that boner down pretty fast.
You'd be surprised how many men love a dominant woman.
You know what?
Love.
I'm learning this.
Yeah. So
I'm learning this. What area does not turn you on sexually?
What area?
Like what area you're like, not for me, not my thing. Threesomes we're fine with.
Yeah.
Anal, like what doesn't turn you on, and what does it turn off?
Pretty much everything turns me on except for the illegal stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like everything consensual.
Yep.
Like I'm down for different kinks.
Right. Have you gone through phases with kinks?
Yeah, for sure. I'm not a super pain slut. Like I like being dominated, but more a psychological domination.
Yeah.
Like actually being in physical pain isn't my like some girls love to be bruised up and marked. I'm like just like, you know, be my daddy, but you don't have to like hit me that hard.
Yeah. I think I dated a guy. It was like, I mean, the dom sub thing. I'm very into it. I need some breaks sometimes. You know, it's just not sustainable if you have a job.
Oh yeah, you don't want like a lifestyle 24/7.
Well, it's like you can only have 6 blueberries for lunch. It's like, well, I'm at the airport. I don't know, is honeydew okay? Like I found a fruit cup at Starbucks. Like it's like when it's like dated someone that was that, and I'm into it. It's like having your own personal trainer and like
if someone tries to restrict my eating, that's just not. We're not.
And I don't think it was about being thin or anything, because I think he was actually like thought I was too.
It was a control thing.
It was I think it was more that like showing loyalty and that, which I think is hot. I'm actually very beta in my personal life, which is probably a lot of people wouldn't believe. And like, I think because I emasculate men by accident, like I'm not trying to, it's just like my personality and like the tone of my shrill ass voice. But so I was like, for a while, I was like, oh, I'm going to have to do this. Like finding super alpha guys that are like doms, and I'll be in this like sub thing. But it just was like, I can't sit in the corner all day. Like I gotta, can I have my laptop at least if I'm going to be sitting in the corner naked? Tied up. Can you just not tie up my arm? Like I just have to return. Can you, like I needed a sub. Like I need a sub to do all the stuff that I can't do because I'm your sub. You know what I mean? And like, so it was like it was just wasn't like. Did you see the movie Secretary?
No, I didn't.
With James Spader and Maggie Gyllenhaal. It's old movie, and it's about that. Like it's like that dom sub hot thing.
Okay, well then, I'm only into that within the bedroom. Not like you can't try and control my life outside of it, or I would just go nuts.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of like. I'm also such a klutz like about that kind of stuff. Like I'm too literal. If it's like go, you know, get on your knees and it's like for how long? I just can you just put it in the calendar? It seems I need a schedule. I guess it seems, but. There was something hot about that, but I was like, this is just not something that is sustainable.
Yeah. You couldn't negotiate that just being like bedroom time?
It felt, I guess not. I was in a place where I felt like I could not be in a relationship because I was just accidentally too alpha or too emasculating to men so I just like within it, I was like, oh, I finally have this thing. And it's someone that he was very like proactive and was like, this is where we're going to dinner and this is what we're doing. And I really want that. But I think people tend to get deferential with me because I am whatever, alpha in a lot of ways. But in my relationship, I really am more beta, but I don't know how to convince people of that. So I think I was going through this phase of like, oh, I guess I need to date these like 50 Shades of Grey dudes that, you know, are making me like fucking putting asparagus in my butt all day. Oh, that what didn't happen.
Okay, well, you never know.
But a lot of the pinching and shit is like, I want you to hurt when you sit down tomorrow to think about me, and I'm like, I have a standing desk, buddy. It's also like there's a lot of things in the dom sub, like in 50 Shades of Grey that you don't like. That. I've worked hard. I've built something. I have employees. You know what I mean? Like he'd be like, I want you to dress up, be and clean the house. I'm like, dude, I have a cleaning lady. It's clean. Like I'm not like, do you know what I mean? Which always like the cleaning lady fantasy always just feels like it's like, did you just trick me into cleaning the house?
Yeah, no.
Like, do you know how to do? Or like I remember it was one time like I want you to come home and I want you to be cleaning the house and like a cleaning lady outfit or something. And I just was like, well, do you want me to ask Leslie for her Crocs in Aeropostale t-shirt? I mean, my cleaning lady she's wearing a Canal Street fake Gucci shirt. I mean, I could just ask
she
her.
doesn't wear a French maid outfit? No.
Well, then it was like the French maid outfit, which is like, oh yeah, because French people are known for being so clean. But I got really paranoid because I've been with my cleaning lady for 15 years. She's like my family. And I was like, if she finds a cleaning lady outfit, I'm worried she's going to think I'm cheating on her with other cleaning ladies. She's the one that's going to have to wash it. Like, I can't deal with the embarrassment. I have to be able to make eye contact with Leslie.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
can't, but I want to be that adventure. I just couldn't. That wasn't a match. Can I ask you a couple?
Oh, you just wiped mascara up across
you know what?
your...
This is the part of the show,
Yeah.
where my eyes I start turning into Jack Sparrow.
You've wiped it like all the way down.
Huh? Oh, am I in full blackface? Am I canceled? Did I get it?
No, yeah, you got
I know.
it.
I put on eyeliner for you. Being on the same screen as you is truly my nightmare. So let's just get to it. Is squirting pee? Is there pee? Why can't I squirt? Why am I peeing? Do I have to practice? What's happening? Am I dehydrated?
I think the whole squirting thing is just putting more pressure on women. Like, who cares? Are you coming? If you're coming, who cares if you're squirting?
It's a different kind. It's a different kind. It's a different feeling.
Do you like the way that you're feeling when you come right now?
If a guy, yes.
Good.
I just mean I can do it if a guy uses his finger and is going like this.
Yep.
And it'll happen, and it feels good, but I don't know if it feels good because I'm like, I did it. I'm not I'm a human octopus. I don't know.
feel like clitoral orgasms are more intense.
Always.
Always. Like,
but I have not been able to have those without a toy or my hands.
a clitoral, because you're...
How would you?
Yeah. Well, okay, cat position. That's my favorite position.
Excuse me?
Cat. Gotta do cat.
Uh-oh.
Coital alignment technique. That's what it stands for.
Okay.
Cat position. So the cat is where you're going to...
I thought you meant it was the cat position. You just ignore someone who's nice to you and rudely ruin their furniture.
That would be hot too. That sounds hot. But this is a different cat position. This is... Okay, so you're going to... angle your pelvis up, so you could put like a cushion underneath your lower back.
A My Pillow.
Yes, and then basically it's the man is going to be on top, or I mean you could do it with a woman, but like you're going to have him rub up against your pubic mound and his pubic mound, so he is so deep in you and rubbing, so he's actually rubbing the clit instead
With
of what,
his,
because this is sex usually, right? The man is just like doing this in and out. So his cock is going in, and as he's fully in, he's touching your clit for a second, and he pulls out, and then
high-fiving
he's just slapping the clit, which
Nothing.
it feels good, but it's not going to be enough stimulation
Friction,
to make you come. So cat is where he goes in deep, he stays in deep, and he's kind of, instead of moving up and down like
That's
this,
my shit.
but a lot of women can never have an internal orgasm. Clitoris is like
I had to be on top
key.
of the guy on a chair. I was like very young, where I was like 24 when it happened, oddly. It was at an acting class. It was like we were rehearsing like a
rehearsing a sex scene.
We're rehearsing like a Philadelphia story. And by the way, side note, this was an acting school that I later found out was like a Scientology feeder school. Like it was like a line with Scientology. Whole other conversation. So my kink is Scientology. Okay. Nothing gets me off like a cult that makes babies on a boat audit their failures. But it was like I was on top of him on a chair, but I feel like now that I'm perceived in a way that's really alpha, I can't like be on top anymore. I know that sounds like stupid, but it's like guys already think I'm like this top.
Fuck that. Lean into it. Lean into it. Get on the chair. Just do it. If it's going to give you an internal orgasm, I would just
I don't
do
know
it.
if I could do it again,
Yeah.
but it was like it was
What did you
it was
have-
like surprised me. Like it was.
So you're sitting on the chair. Mm-hmm. Are you sure you're not getting clitoral stimulation? Because if he's sitting,
You know what? If you're
I
on
feel
top,
like
you
you're
might
grinding.
be, yes. And I feel like I was very close to him, and it was very like.
If you're on just like one one chair, like a little
Yeah.
chair, I think you're also grinding your clit at the same time.
And I hadn't gone on
Yeah.
Prozac yet, so I was very OCD. But no, I'm thank God not on those, because that's the other thing. I think a lot of people are on antidepressants and stuff that have side effects that mess with your ability to. That's the other thing, is that then by the time I got out of those relationships that weren't sexually satisfying because of whatever reason, I couldn't connect, etc. That's the other thing. Emotional connection is such a big part of it for me.
Yeah.
And I wasn't ready to be intimate with people or surrender. Like I still like had walls up,
Yeah.
emotionally. It's like, and I didn't feel I didn't want to give that to someone. I didn't want to get addicted to someone. I didn't want to give someone the power of making me feel that good. Because I think I saw so many. I grew up, I think, around a lot of sex addiction, around like marriages being destroyed. So, and I think for me, I thought like, ugh, if I like sex too much, it's going to destroy my life or something subconsciously, But that was my own dumb bullshit.
Yeah.
I love that we can just stare at each other.
It literally went up my nose. I have made out with your mic, by the way. I think you have my lipstick on.
Please, if you
Sorry.
don't, I'm putting that mic on eBay the second you
go
leave.
for-
When you're not having sex for work,
Yes.
I'm fascinated. It's like my favorite thing to ask a chef is, where do you eat? Entertainers, what do you listen to? What do you watch? So when you're having sex just for the love of the game,
Yeah.
what does it look like?
I have to have a connection with someone. Absolutely. And it's much more intimate. Like when we shoot for porn, we're opening up for the light, for the camera. Some of the positions are a lot more distant. So Kat, I'm like, get on top of me. I want skin to skin contact. I want you all over me. Like, I want every part of my skin touching every part of your skin.
Is it, by the way, choreographed? Like, do you kind of have the list of positions laid out beforehand?
It depends on the company and it depends on the type of scene. So my favorite type of scene, a gonzo scene, which is like you just fuck the way you want to fuck. There's very little direction. It's just all about raw chemistry and connection.
Are you ever able to sleep with people you work with outside of work, or is that
It's better if I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just better.
to keep the tension and
to keep the
stuff?
tension, because like if you have really good sexual chemistry with someone and then you fuck them off camera and then you learn more about them and you realize you actually don't like them as a person, like it's just bad.
It's a big thing in acting too. If you see like two people that have horrible chemistry as actors, like sometimes it means they fucked.
Yeah.
I worked with this guy, like a really good actor, and we like sort of had this flirtation in the beginning, and he's like, we cannot hook up. I'm like, why not? Who cares?
Yeah.
Whatever. And he was like, because it's gonna ruin. And he was so right.
Yeah. Yeah, it fucks with the tension. You want to keep that sexual tension
Smart.
for on set. Don't fuck the person. And then there's all these issues like, okay, so say you like start fucking someone off camera or you start dating them and then you break up and it's a bad breakup and then like you don't want to get booked with them.
Yeah.
And then what if like say a male talent has to cancel on the day and they're like, oh, who can we replace him with? And the only person they can replace him with is
Yeah.
your ex-boyfriend. And you're like, I don't want to. It's like, don't
shit where you
don't
eat.
exactly. It's better not to.
Yeah.
So there are some positions. Hate to say it, reverse cowgirl, because I really don't like that position. But sometimes when I'm taking a dick in my ass in reverse cowgirl and the dick is really straight, it'll be hitting my G-spot through my ass.
Yeah. By the way, that's another recent discovery. I've never had sex with a guy till recently that has a very straight dick. Straight.
Yeah, it's
because most of them are
intense.
curved,
Yeah.
right? Because didn't they they don't call me Ho Rogan for nothing, but in tribal times, the guys' dicks evolved to be curved to scoop out the semen of the competing.
I thought that was the head, like the mushroom head, like the little, so the head goes like this, and then like the more mushroomy it is, the
I
more
feel
it
like
can
you're right.
Scoop it out.
Yeah, to kind of like
Yeah.
because there's the
Yeah,
that
the
little shelf.
little shelf,
that-
pull that other
that
come
come
out.
How, dude, I feel very lucky that we aren't alive at a time where you're not just constantly getting raped by mushroom dicks, scooping semen out of us constantly. The fact that a dick evolved just to scoop out fresh cum, how often were women getting fucked? Jesus, guys.
That
But
sounds like a dream to me, but
I have to say, we would have thrived.
oh no, I just got cummed in. Somebody better put their mushroom dick inside me and scoop it
but
out.
I feel like every woman had a fucking hard UTI at the time. I feel it's just like a. Do you have a protocol for UTI management?
I would say that your vagina just gets better at handling stuff. Like the more,
Ooh,
yeah,
just gives up.
no,
It's just like, no, why bother?
no. I mean, I've never been really prone to
And the
UTIs.
guys have good
thankfully,
hygiene, I bet, too.
They do, yeah. Most of them, thankfully.
I got in the
Yeah.
biggest fight. I mean, this guy, bless his heart. I just am like, you have got to wash your dick. Guys.
Oh, he wasn't.
You have to watch. I think
And the asshole. Even if you're not playing with the asshole,
Ooh.
because it just the smell stays.
most
down
white
there.
people don't even wash their legs or backs. You know that most people just wash their hair and they go, oh no, it drips down. It's cleaning. You have to scrub it. You have to wash it. Guys, exfoliation mitt. Got to get that exfoliation mitt. Put
Get
it
the
in your
dead
butthole.
skin,
You gotta get it.
Yeah. So this male friend was not washing his penis.
It just was blessed. It's just I got so into I have not had sex like that. Like I just got so we were having sex like very frequently, and it was just in between. Not you got to cut your nails. You got to clean under your nails, guys.
It's not just cut. You've got to file.
File,
you've
cut.
gotta
But there's
file
like
them.
if you're gonna put your finger inside a gal, you gotta get that mani pedi life.
It's even like the cuticles and like around the skin around, because that can get really hard as well, especially on men, and that can be scratchy.
And it's weird because I'm so into a guy that's like rugged and not like, most guys in LA have more cosmetics and makeup and hair pomade than I do. So it's like hot that someone's like rugged and kind of a feral animal, but then you're like, you have to.
Well, rugged, but get a manicure and wash your balls and your dick and your butthole.
Yep. And you can't go back and forth from tush to vagina.
Well,
You can't. You can probably.
I do
I
in
just
porn,
mean like
but in
the
regular sex, don't do it.
us
Not
out
recommended.
here in the streets.
Yeah, the civilians
without a plan.
don't do it. Yeah, you got to have a plan if you're going to do it.
You
yeah,
can't
you
be
need a
sloppy
plan.
about it.
Yeah,
Because going back and forth.
that'll give you a yeast infection or a
It's-
UTI. Yeah. We have plans.
If you're
in porn
rogue
sets.
about it.
Yeah, agreed.
You know what I mean?
Agreed.
I'm going to look at the questions that the fans sent in. I cannot
yeah.
wait to see. But for me, another question for me, is there a way to not queef? Like, is there some kind of...
Yes. Okay, so this is the trick, right? So you can feel when air's gone up there, right?
Yeah, you totally know.
You
I'm like,
know.
if I turn,
You can feel
this
it.
is going to go real whoopee cushion real fast.
So this is what you do, and this is how you do it so the guy doesn't even know what you're doing. Make it sexy, right? Like just... No. No, I'm gonna... That's
Your dick is so big that it made so much space.
It's talking to you, baby. It says fuck me harder.
I'm saying,
Let me translate. It says that dick is so good. Fuck more air into me.
okay, so when you know it's in.
When you know it's in, what you do is you take your fingers, you go down, you start masturbating, you put your fingers inside your pussy, right? You pull up and you push lightly. You pull up, so you open the hole. You pull up, push lightly. It pushes all the air out. It doesn't make a sound because it's not closed, so it doesn't make the...
Whoa.
Yeah, so they won't hear a thing, and it just looks like you're so horny. You stuck your fingers inside. You're like, oh my God, this is so good. I need that dick back inside me. And you've just pushed the air out. Nobody knows. Fingers in.
So it's
pull
like,
up,
so
push.
it's this. It's like,
You've opened up the hole. You open the hole. Done.
whoa, dude.
Yeah.
That is some pro shit.
Yeah.
Nothing makes shit go sideways. Like a...
And the other way you can do it is like, so...
And it's always like
Once it's
right between
open,
songs. Frank
yeah.
Ocean, Pyramids. There's like a 4-second. You got the Spotify. There's a what is it where you can make it so the songs blend together because it's always that 3-second like spot in between a song, and you're just like, God damn it! Like happening. Like I'm blasting Marilyn Manson.
Look, if he's man enough to fuck you, he's man enough to hear a queef. Like,
you know what? I think also same thing with sex on periods. Like
Yeah.
if y'all aren't out there having sex with girls on their periods, like you are gay.
But the other thing is, it's good if you like, so stick your fingers in and like finger yourself, but instead of in and out, like up and down, so
just
you're
to let
keeping
it,
it open.
like-
Yep, keeping it open.
It's like letting a bird out.
Yeah,
You just
you'll
open
and
the
you
window.
know when the air's out, and you're good to go.
That is a game changer. Hold on, how do I go to all the
Also in doggy, like when he pulls his dick out, don't relax your pussy. Make sure you're squeezing those kegels when he pulls out, because if you're relaxed, the air's gonna suck right in. So you're in doggy.
do you do Kegels?
I do kegels.
Do how with something in there?
No, just
Like the Benoit balls?
I have done them, but honestly, it's usually just traffic lights. That's my Kegel time. I'm like, it's a good reminder.
And you're
I'm like,
holding for how long? You
well,
squeeze, hold?
Well, as long as the red light.
Oh shit.
Yeah, hold.
Do you live in
Yeah.
LA, so that pussy is tight.
Yeah.
But I would like to ask you, how do you define love? And have you been in love?
Yeah. It's a tough one because a lot of what love is a bunch of chemicals just making you feel drugged.
Ain't that the truth?
That's a lot of oxytocin and dopamine and adrenaline, and there's a lot going on.
Internal drug cabinet, man.
That actually like blinds you to what's in front of you. So I think
Tricks you.
yeah, it does.
It's like, I mean, there's a great book. It's called, I know this is a dorky, corny name. It's called Cupid's Poisoned Arrow. Ugh. But the title is very extra, but sort of outlines that and what orgasms were intended for. Like orgasms, like, you know, it's so hard to make a woman come. The idea was that this is the most fit partner, the father of my child. Like all these guys are gonna fuck me, and the one that fucks me the best scoops out the most cum with the most mushroomy ass dick, and who connects with me the most intensely makes me come.
And the orgasm sucks.
You're
that
more
cum up.
likely to get pregnant if
Yeah.
you have an orgasm. So it all sort of makes sense, you know, from an evolutionary perspective. You know, but what it does chemically, like just sort of how
The bonding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After sex, an orgasm, a guy goes to sleep. But after an orgasm, a man's sort of reptilian brain triggers rest, whereas a woman is like up and planning and plotting because the idea is you're pregnant. Now I got to plot, I got to plan, I got to overthink, I got to be neurotic, I got to be hypersensitive, you know? So it's like that moment.
I think I'm a man.
I am entertaining the idea that I'm a trans man.
I want to cuddle and go to sleep. And then, well, a nap, and then have more sex.
I agree.
Yeah.
This is making a lot of things way more clear because the girl dating a girl, everyone's like, oh, so you're gay now. I'm like, no, I'm a straight trans man. He's trapped in a woman's body that looks like a trans woman.
It's very complex.
I happen to look like a trans woman, but I think I'm a trans man who won't transition. It seems like hard work.
I'm here for you, whatever you decide you are.
So, because you like just the neurochemistry of that. Do you feel like understanding that takes the like romance of it all out? You're too smart for your own good.
No, because like even though you can rationalize it, you're still feeling the feelings. Those feelings will get you.
But I feel like you've been able to compartmentalize those feelings, the emotional feelings, the bonding, the oxytocin of it all, which is the bonding, and then the being secure and sex. Because a lot of times it gets muddy.
I still think it's like hard to fall in love. Even if you have good sex with someone, like afterwards you can be like, that was good sex, but I'm good to leave. I don't know.
Do you want a partner?
I've had plenty of partners. I've had plenty of like good relationships, like good open polyamorous relationships.
Monogamous ever?
I tried monogamy and I wasn't good at it. I really I'm going to be honest.
There's just too much money in polyamory. So I tried monogamy and it kept me poor.
Yeah, I like to connect with people. Sex is a conversation, and I meet someone new and I want to like get to know them, and I'm like, I wonder how they fuck. Like I don't know. I don't think monogamy's for me. I think monogamy could be for me for around maybe 12 months.
Okay.
I think I could be obsessed with someone enough and bond with them enough that I wouldn't need to have sex with anyone else for 12 months. And then after that, I'd be like, okay.
Because then you get to work too. Does work count? Does that count
I
as sex?
I don't think it counts personally.
So if you are at work all day getting hammered by dread
yeah,
and come home, are you like that, like, doesn't count?
it doesn't count to me. I mean, it's like you want your partner to have fun at work. Like I might still have fun at work and I might still gain sexual pleasure, but it's not the same as like intimate lovemaking that I have at home. It's no.
Yeah.
Even when I connect with people on set, it's never going to be the same. Like somebody hands me a baby wipe afterwards.
It's a performance.
Like, look, my aim in every scene is to not perform. That's the ultimate aim. That's like the pinnacle. Like that's the best porn sex, when you are having sex with that person as if there weren't cameras around.
That's it. That's why you are you. We got it. So,
but you can't get that in every scene.
We're out here. You're acting the least of any woman having sex. I found myself like, it's like with these porn stars or look, they're being fake. I'm like, nah, bitch. I think I'm the one being fake. I'm over here like, oh, that feels like like we fake it. The ones that the great porn stars, you actually don't.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'll be honest. There are some companies and certain directors that heavily direct a scene. Like they'll tell you, we need an orgasm in every position and we need these 5 positions in this order. Those kind of scenes.
Is that based on anything besides?
Sometimes it'll be like the stats or whatever. They know that this is popular. We need to get these positions in.
We need a stepbrother stat.
Yeah, and the orgasm in every position, I guess that's kind of catering to every person's fantasy. Like if there's the person that only jerks off to doggy, and so we want to make sure that the female has an orgasm in doggy because that's for that particular viewer. And there's the person that only wants to watch the reverse cowgirl. So I understand it, but those scenes aren't as conducive to real orgasms because it's like
right.
It's heavily directed. But when you're on a set and it's gonzo and it's like fuck however you want to fuck, and you actually have chemistry with that person, then you're going to get real sex, or as real as it can be. Like there's always some sort of artifice. You do have to open up for the camera. But the scene that I'm probably the most well known for is my scene with Manuel Ferrara, where you can look it up.
Can I see you spell his name?
Manuel, M-A-N.
Oh, Manuel.
Manuel, yeah. There's, if you write Angela White gets emotional after cream pie scene.
I have had,
we fucked for an hour and then I cried in his arm for 20 minutes. Yeah. It's like a meme now.
But what happened there?
The sex was so intimate and so incredible and so real. Like I just had this release. I just was crying it was 20 or 30 minutes. It was all filmed. The cameraman just kept rolling. It's all in the scene. We won Best Boy Girl Sex Scene for it. Like New York Post wrote an article about it saying with the headline, "Porn will never get better than this." It's like a lot. I would say it's my best scene. But because it didn't feel like a scene.
But
it wasn't a performance.
So while it was happening, you didn't
I wasn't there. Like I was in the space with Manuel. I was with Manuel. I wasn't anywhere else. I wasn't thinking of the camera operator. I wasn't thinking of the light. It was just we were connecting and we were so in tune with each other's bodies.
See, this is blowing my mind because it's like for this to be the best scene, the best award, it's like there's this stigma in porn that these women are just getting fucking fucked, and it's like maybe that's happening, but the ones that are popular and the ones that are the most successful, lucrative, etc., the things people actually really want to watch are the ones where the woman is getting a tremendous amount of realsies pleasure.
That's the thing. That's what resonates with the audience.
People only will talk about the negative impacts of porn.
Well, and that's the thing. Like that's what it's clear. Right now, men are still the biggest consumers of porn, and that is changing. Like more and more women are consuming porn and being open about consuming porn. And like my biggest spenders on OnlyFans are actually women. But,
really?
Yeah. But like men are speaking with their clicks. Like they want to see porn where the women are enjoying the sex. That resonates
the dude
with
I'm
the
dating,
consumer.
It's like that's his kink.
Yeah,
He
I love
cannot
that.
get off in any capacity.
I wish that was every man's
That's
kink.
like his thing.
But it just, the fact that scene is so popular shows that there are so many men that they want to be having connected sex. They want to be having sex with women that are enjoying themselves, that are like genuinely connected with their sexual partner. That's what resonates.
This is like so wild because it's the same as stand-up in a lot of ways. When it's like you see the stand-ups, the great stand-ups, and then the people that don't understand why they're not making it. And you're like, and I don't know how else to say it, but to comics that come out, they've got great jokes, they've got a great sort of angled or smart, but it's like you're not connecting with the audience.
Yep.
You have to fall in love with them.
Yeah.
And then they're fucking shitty crowd. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
You already you have this adversity with the crowd. You have like this cantankerous relationship with the crowd. Like it's all energy.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like it's so this is kind of blowing my mind in a way, because it's just we're not getting away with anything. You're never getting away with it. So
Yeah.
it's like the ultimate lesson in do what you love.
Yeah.
Because if you don't love it, you're not going to get paid.
Yeah.
This is a great question. Oh, this is such a good question. Favorite fragrance on a man?
Ooh. It's sweat. I like fresh sweat.
Yeah, I'm
on a
a
man,
BO
yeah,
bitch.
a man who eats healthy and like, you know, it's like taking care of himself and then goes works
If you
out.
drink, your
Yeah,
sweat is gross.
No, you got to be eating healthy, not
Yep.
drinking, hydrated,
Yeah.
go work out, that come back with that fresh
Yeah.
sweat. Oh, that's hot. I will bury my nose in your armpit. I will bury my nose
love
in your
that
balls.
shit too. Where are you on shave? Guys are shaving.
Please
They're
don't-
like
don't
dolphins
stop.
now.
I don't
It's
like
just, I
it.
like some, but my pubes, I feel like I need to get a merkin or plugs. I kind of want pubes back.
Yeah, if you laser it, it's
It's
done.
I
Yeah.
lasered in the early days when
Yeah.
it was just like a
Give up on that.
flamethrower from Hardee's. I mean, it was like there was laser that was, it was not. It was an easy bake oven. They would just put your pussy in a recalled easy bake oven.
Yeah, it's
like,
fried. It's done.
It's done. It's like,
Yeah.
and then when I try to grow it out, it's like a little like Smithers hairs.
Yeah, and it's all like little white hairs, and yeah. I prefer a man to leave his hair. I just don't like shaved pubes because they're spiky.
That's it.
And then I want to grind on your pubic area, and it hurts.
And you're gonna get an ingrown, or it's gonna get red and inflamed, and I'm gonna think it's a herpes, and then I'm gonna get all paranoid.
But I'm red and inflamed because I'm grinding on you, and your sharp, pointy like
Just
hair
leave
that's
it.
growing back. Just leave it. You can trim it a little if you want, like, but just don't. Yeah, don't shave it off.
I think guys think it makes their dicks look bigger, maybe.
We know how big your dick is.
Regardless, like, you know when women line outside their lip, people know
We all know
the difference.
Yeah.
we go, oh, look how
overdrawn that lip is.
same.
Yeah.
Interesting. What do you have thoughts on on Pornhub and the state of Utah's new law?
That sucks.
I don't know what it is.
Basically, I'm not sure the exact details, but Pornhub just restricted access to the whole entire state of Utah because they were making it too difficult to they wanted age verification, but there's an issue with privacy. I don't know the full details of it. I just don't think that. I mean, it's all about protecting the children, but
Protecting the children. Oh, in the state where they marry children. They can't go to Pornhub, but they can marry 88-year-old
but people who
corpses.
are internet literate know how to use a VPN. So I feel like better sex education and age-appropriate porn
Requires
literacy
anyone who wants
is
to
better.
access an adult content site has to prove that they're 18.
But then you're stopping adults from being adults, and you're then having to how do you feel as an adult, like giving away your private information and your ID every time you want to watch porn?
Oh, so it's like if you're doing it of age, you're having to.
Yeah. Like, why aren't you using the parental controls that?
I was just say, where
are the parents?
It's like,
Yeah.
if
the internet is for adults.
you're the one that had the kid, you gotta watch it. You gotta know where it is. You just do.
Yeah.
You know, just get. But when you have 50 kids, you can't possibly know where they all are at one time. So Utah had to. Do you want kids?
No, thank you.
Did you always know that?
Yeah, I can't. From as long as I can remember, I've never wanted kids. Yeah, I'm just not interested. Honestly, I feel like, firstly, the world's already overpopulated, and secondly, the world is an absolutely horrible place. I don't want to be responsible for bringing a child into this world and be responsible for their suffering, because living is suffering.
I'm gonna let you go. Very against my instincts. Of wanting
She's
to
locked me in
keep
here.
you forever. I haven't done a podcast as long in a very long time, but I have to finish editing the roast of me, which you're gonna do the intro
Yes,
for. Oh
I'm
my gosh.
excited.
So Angela is gonna do the intro that we're gonna put in the roast of Cummings, and it's gonna. Should we show her the picture? Should we show it to her? It's basically gonna be like, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the roast of Whitney Cummings. Please welcome your host, Hannah Stocking.
Okay.
Is that what we need, Haley?
Easy.
Yeah, welcome to the roast, Whitney Cummings. Yeah, I think the other one was like, and now for your host.
And now for your host, Hannah Stocking. Can we put that on prompter? And then,
Please
perfect.
stand by.
Please. What was that? What
Did you
you
like
just
that?
do?
Or no, was that too
What did you
robotic?
just do?
I said,
Oh my god, I thought that it was just,
I said,
that was your voice?
That was. I thought that was
Wait, I
wild.
thought I just pressed a button. But
That sounded like Siri.
sorry.
That was wild.
Was that good or was that
It
bad?
was, but it was like it sounded like a robot.
Please stand by.
That's wild. You know, Robert Greene's argument about the aliens is that it wouldn't. Is that aliens wouldn't be able to make it to Earth because the distance is so long. If they were made of what we're made of, flesh, they wouldn't survive the trip. So they would have to send robots. So maybe that's you.
Maybe.
And the robots don't know they're robots. So that's the rub.
Yeah, that's going back to Blade Runner.
Yes.
Full circle. This is, he knew something.
Shit. Okay, so while she's pulling this up, or just putting that on prompter, would you do a TV show for OnlyFans TV?
Like me, like produce one if I had a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I wouldn't have to. I wouldn't have sex though. Like that would be the problem. Like,
Yeah.
have-
I mean,
Well,
it could be
could.
some. I know something. OnlyFans
Sex
TV. It's
challenge?
like kind of happening.
That could be fun.
What is the key to the perfect blowjob? Besides being you.
No teeth.
Eh.
Honestly, I think there's a lot of different things that can make a good blowjob. Lots
Is it
of
the
spit.
twisting?
That's
twisting?
good. Yeah, little pepper grinder. Losing the mouth, using a lot of spit. I would say poking your tongue out so that your tongue is coming out. I do that a lot. I wish I had a something I could demonstrate on.
I mean,
you know what? Are you gonna?
Pat?
Could this be? Could this be mine?
Yes.
Okay.
You're my favorite person.
It's easier to deep throat if you stick your tongue out. So don't keep your tongue in your mouth, right?
It's just the best day. Oh.
All right, so you're sticking. I wish this was more softer. And then
I see.
So you can actually tickle the balls with the tip of your tongue as well. So imagine these are the balls, right?
Whoa. Whoa.
Right? So you're using your tongue to tickle the balls while the dick's all the way down your throat.
That is a game changer.
I'll have a sip of this now.
Oh. You made it come.
Yeah, see, it works every time.
She can hear.
Every time, without
She just-
fail.
She just got a Topo Chico sponsorship in a big way.
So something along the lines of, welcome to the OnlyFans TV roast of Whitney Cummings. And your host for the evening, Hannah Stocking.
What? You're a robot.
That was wild.
For sure.
Stand by.
Do you want to just do another one for
Yeah,
fun?
was that too loud or was that
It
good?
was,
or
I mean, do like 3 in a row.
Okay, perfect.
I always like to do, like, whenever I'm doing something, I'm like, can I just do 3 in a row so that you're not, like, there's no pressure.
Okay, perfect. Welcome to the OnlyFans TV roast of Whitney Cummings. And your host for the evening, Hannah Stocking. Welcome to the OnlyFans TV roast of Whitney Cummings. And your host for the evening, Hannah Stocking.
Heaven.
Perfect.
That's it.
I feel like that last one though, I didn't give enough emphasis to you. It was like it was calm, but then you didn't get enough attention.
I feel like I get enough attention though.
One
I
more.
feel like we'll do one more.
Yeah.
I kind of like the underplaying me a little bit because I feel like such a narcissist. It's just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but this
It's
is about you.
But
it is. You have to accept that this is your moment.
so your brain.
Welcome to the OnlyFans TV roast of Whitney Cummings, and your host for the evening, Hannah Stocking.
You
I will
deserve
do-
everything you have. I love it when I meet someone who just deserves everything they have and more. It's the best feeling.
It's only because I have really big boobs, and so I couldn't play sports, and so then I had to take a different elective, and that elective was drama. So I am a crazy theater kid.
You're so clear. You're not like, you're just like, I'm going to nail this, and you nail it.
Thank you.
Literally.
I love to nail things, rail things. Sorry.
I'm totally obsessed with you.
I love hanging out with you.
Thank you. Ditto.
Yeah.
Angela White. This is the best day of my life. I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming. Don't ride
Thank you.
elephants.